Hello, everyone, and welcome to Talking Hardball with Big Rodge. And today we're going to be talking about one of our topics in our book, The Baseball Parenting Roadmap. It's going to be a great book, by the way. I'm trying to get this thing finished. It's tougher than you think. We're putting it all together and hopefully have some great information. We're going to offer some podcasts and some webinars and some classes for you to take. And it just all ties together to educate our fans about the recruiting process. But today, Recruiting 101, Division I baseball. You all want to know about Division I baseball. So today we're going to talk to you about that. And let's just get this thing fired up so you'll understand how it works and the process leading up to it. So, as you see, a lot of your buddies or friends, or you read on Perfect Game that, these Power 5 schools are committing freshmen and sophomores. And just understand, this is a verbal commitment. You cannot sign your letter of intent until November the 11th through the 15th of your senior year. So just understand, all of these commitments are verbal based leading up to that time. Now, what does that mean to you? What that means is the school is highly interested in you. They made a verbal commitment to bring you in, and you've made a verbal commitment to them. Now, what that doesn't mean is that you're on the team right now, because they can change their mind between now and that November the 11th through the 15th of your senior year. Things can go sour. You may not perform as well as they thought you were going to develop. And you could get a phone call from them saying, hey, buddy, we don't think you're going to be able to play here at University of XYZ, and we just recommend that you do something else. It happens all the time. Don't be shocked if it happens to you, because it happens a lot. And just to throw a tidbit out there to you, about 70% of all freshmen end up transferring after 1 year. And so just understand, it's a tough business, and if you don't perform, you're out of there. So just kind of get that on your plate right up front for you, so you understand that's a tough recruiting world. It's a tough business to be in. These guys get fired for not winning, and they're going to play the guys and recruit the guys they think is going to best help them win. So understand, verbal commitments are just what they are. They may verbally commit 20 players, and they may only end up with 10 of them on campus. So just kind of get that through your mind as we go. Now, this doesn't happen at the mid-major level quite as much. Once they verbally commit somebody, they usually stick with them unless you do something or you get injured or something happens so that that causes you not to be able to perform at that school. So these are the things that you need to make sure that you're taking care of. You need to make sure that you're in the NCAA, that you're in the clearinghouse, so that all of your data's in there, so they can check your grades and your GPA and make sure your classes coordinate with their admission policies, and that you have the proper classes. You need to also have a meeting with your guidance counselor and the schools that you're interested in, so that your academic criteria matches up with admissions at those schools. You don't want to get a surprise your senior year and not be able to get in the school that offered you. So you need to take care of all of that. Just understand that there is a recruiting calendar for Division I. They have 11.7 scholarships. 27 players are on scholarship at those schools, and they have 35 players on their roster. So 8 players are called walk-ons. They may be on academic money, they may be on some other type of money, but they're considered walk-ons athletically. There can only be 27 players on scholarship at the Division I level. They have 11.7 full scholarships to divide amongst those 27 players. So you do the math, it's going to come out a really good offer at that level is 50%. They have to at least offer you 25% if they make an offer at all. They have to offer 25%. So they cannot offer less than 25% of a scholarship to you at the Division I level. Now, notice that there will be those 8 guys that are walk-ons, and they won't be on any athletic money. So, for these people out there saying, oh, I got a full ride to XYZ, that can be a little tricky. It may be a combination of athletic money and academic money. You just don't know the whole story. But very rarely have I seen in my 25 years a guy get a full ride athletic scholarship to a Division I school. It just doesn't happen very often, because they use one full scholarship that only gives them 10.7 for the other 26 players. So that's kind of tells you where they are. Now, also, they have a recruiting calendar at this level. We start in January the 1st through March the 1st is a quiet period. They can contact you, but they can't come out and see you. So if you've been invited to the XYZ showcase in, Florida or Arizona or Las Vegas or wherever it might be, just understand there will be 0 Division I schools attending that showcase. They cannot go out and recruit until March 1st. They can make contact with you during that quiet period, but they cannot go out and recruit. So you need to be collecting video clips of yourself during your season and things like that to send out to the schools that you have interest in, so that they can start getting an idea. Also, several of them have camps during this time. Most of them start practice when they get back for second semester in January. So if they have a camp during the holidays or whatever, you can attend those camps on their campus, but it would usually only be the school that that the camp is hosting. It won't be any of the other schools, because no other Division I school can be there. Now, this dead period again continues until March. You can text the coaches back and forth, those type things, but they can't come out and watch you play. So starting March 1st, they get on the road and they can go out and watch some baseball games. They can do that until the last week of May. I think there's the new calendar states during the conference tournaments. They've set up a dead period, and they've also set up a dead period during the College World Series. I think the last 3 days of the College World Series, and July 3rd, 4th, and 5th now is a dead period. So there's a couple of little dead patches in there, and then they can get back out after July the 4th, and then they can recruit hard and heavy until the 3rd week of August, where they're shut down for about 4 weeks on going out. Then they can pick it back up after the 2nd week of September, and they've got about 4 weeks there until October that they can go out. Then it's quiet again, and then it's a dead week in November, the 11th through the 15th, where if you're a senior the 11th through the 15th, you can actually sign your national letter of intent. You can fax it into them, they sign it, and then everything becomes official. So that's sort of how the recruiting process works at the Division I level from a mechanic standpoint. Now, what do you have to do to be one of those guys? And I'll try to squeeze it in the next 2 minutes. Is you've got to either possess some outstanding skills that lead them to recruit you. I'd say, right-handed pitchers, 88 plus. Position players, you've got to show the ability to handle the bat. You got to have some power. You got to have good defensive skills. You got to be one of the elite players in your state to get a Division I offer. And so just understand that it's a very difficult league. It doesn't matter if it's a mid-major school like Georgia Southern or Mercer or Kennesaw State in our state, or University of Georgia or Georgia Tech. At the major level, there's a pretty slim margin of difference in the players. Georgia Southern and Mercer and those guys have beaten both of those schools over the years. And, the players are really good at every level of Division I. In the state of Georgia, you'll have a lot of pro prospects at all of these schools. So just understand kind of what you're getting in, and you're to be at that type of level. But really understand this verbal committing as a freshman or sophomore may or may not be a great policy for you, because it's just verbal, and they can release you from that verbal at any time, and you can do the same. So I would kind of keep my eggs close to my basket and maybe hold off on verbally committing until the time is right. And I felt like this is a school that's really invested in me, and I'm invested in them, and nothing's going to change that leading into my senior year. I hope that gives you a little piece of information today about recruiting. Don't forget our MLB Super Camp coming up December 28th and 29th in St. Simons. We'll look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.